All right, everyone, welcome back to another Entity Framework core video. And today we're going to talk about how to reference a view in a database. And in our case, it's going to be a SQLite database, which actually in the previous video, if you haven't seen that, right now as of recording it, it's private, but it won't be by the time this video is out. Go check that out if you haven't. That way you can see what view we created, how to create a view if you don't already know in SQLite, and all that good stuff. And that's what we're going to be using in today's video. By the way, hit subscribe if you like this kind of content. I really appreciate it. We surpassed 600 subscribers pretty easily, a lot easier than I expected. Been a long journey to get here, and I really do appreciate every single one of you. This channel is just me learning different things in code and then trying to share them to the best of my ability with you guys. And today we're going to, like I said, be referencing a view in our console application here. We've been using ASP.NET Core Web Apps, and then for a little while we've been using a console application. Though how we use Entity Framework Core shouldn't make a difference. It's going to be, the same basic concepts either way. Here's my test context, as I called it, my DB context. And I did a few videos in the past where we just talked about what is one way, I guess, that we join data from different tables. And I talked about how to create an anonymous type using LINQ and Entity Framework. And we use the same DB context. There's a cars table and a colors table. And this is maybe another way that we can join data without actually having to join it in Entity Framework. We create a view, which, by the way, let's just look at it. Here's our view. And here are the different cars. I mentioned this before. Lamborghini's not a model, I know. And here's the colors. And this is built from the two tables, colors and cars. And this is maybe one way or another way that we can combine data and join it and then use it in Entity Framework. You can create a view if you have data that you plan on using a lot, something like this maybe. So one of the first things we want to do is add it to our context, that view, the VW underscore cars underscore and underscore colors, long name. And we want to add it to our DB context, in our case, our text context. And I guess before we even do that, we have to create a class that holds the data that will be in that view. And I already did that beforehand, so I didn't bore you. But I just have two strings in this class. I called it cars and colors. And the two strings are named model and color name, the two properties. So pretty simple. And then we'll go back to our test context and we'll just add a DB set exclusively for this. And it looks like my spacing's off, but hopefully you guys, that doesn't bother you too much. And we're going to reference our class that we created. And I'm going to call this the same as cars. Maybe I should make it capital. Nah, I don't think I'll make it capital. Cars and colors. Isn't that the name that we made the view? Yes. So I'll just make it the same name and give it a getter and a setter, just like we did for the other things. So right off the bat, you're probably saying, well, this doesn't look very different from a table when we're using a view instead. And you're right. One thing we do have to do, though, is we have to configure how we're going to create this context and how we're going to use this model. We're going to configure that a little bit. So it is going to require some extra code. And what you can do is you can use this onModelCreating method to configure your model. And that's exactly what we're going to do, because we're going to say, hey, this isn't actually a table, this is a view. And we also have to tell it there isn't actually any primary keys in this, because if we don't tell it there's no primary keys in this table, Entity Framework is actually going to throw us an error when we go to reference this data. So I'm going to add that to, if I can spell it, protected override void on model creating. And then we're passing in a model builder, and we're just going to name it model builder. And here we can say our model builder dot entity of type cars and colors. This is where we can configure it. And we're just going to use a lambda expression. I'm just going to say C, and then we're going to set C dot has no key, which says this doesn't have a primary key. And then also C dot to view to say this is a view, and the view's name, we're going to pass in, it's called VW, and this is all capitalized like it is in our database, cars and colors. So we'll pass in the same name that we gave the view when we created it. And it's giving me a red line because, there we go, I misspelled that. Oh, and that's a semicolon, not a comma. There we go. So we configured to say, hey, this is a view and not a table, and it has no primary key. Very good. So if I go to our program file here, our main program, let's go ahead, and I am using the test context. Let's just go ahead and read from it and make sure everything looks good. So I'm going to say our variable cars is equal to db.cars and colors, just like that. And then we can do a for loop. We can say for object in cars. Let's just write it out. Let's see, not for each. And let's just do a console.writeLine. And we'll do some string interpolation and say the model is, and then object.model. And the color is object.color name. So this should grab everything from this view and then go through it and read each line out to us that was in the view. So let's make sure this works. Let's see if it works and see if it reads out everything that's in that view for us. So it did take a second to build and display, but finally here we go. We have model, Prius color blue, Mustang red, Lamborghini yellow, and WRX blue. Let's just make sure that's all consistent. Yeah, that's exactly what we have in here. So that is how you can reference a view in Entity Framework Core. Create a class to represent what's in that view. Pretty simple. Add it to your context with a little configuration like we did here. We said, hey, it's a view, it doesn't have any primary keys or any keys for that matter. And then we just did something simple where we said, hey, give us all of the entities in that table or view in this case, and we'll just read through them and show them to the user each line, the content from that view. So hopefully you guys learned something new today, and hopefully this is useful to you. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.